This segment is brought to you by Terrebonne General Health System. Your partner is good health.
Welcome to Bayou Time. I'm Jacob DeGate, and I'm proud to introduce Lafourche Parish President Archie Chasson. Thank you very much for joining us.
Hey, good to see you, Mr. DeGate.
All right. Unfortunately, we had a tragedy today in Lafourche with a helicopter crash. Can you tell us all what went down?
Yeah, so about 6:30 a.m. this morning, Sheriff's Office and Lafourche Crossing 308 Fire Department received a call about a possible aircraft crash that had been spotted over the sugarcane field a little bit east of Laurel Valley Road, so in the northern part of the parish, just outside of the city limits of Thibodaux. Upon arrival, Sheriff's Office personnel and members of the fire department, along with the Thibodaux Volunteer Fire Department, who came out as well, spotted the aircraft crash. It appears that he was a crop dusting aircraft that was doing some routine spraying for pests in the sugarcane field as it begins to ripen through the summer, and had some type of interaction with a high voltage power line that runs through the back of that area. And unfortunately, because of that, it caused the aircraft to crash. Unfortunately, the pilot, who was on board by himself, was found deceased on the scene, still inside the aircraft. So we turned that over to Lafourche Parish Coroner's Office and the Sheriff's Office for investigation. Working with the Sheriff's Office, we did make all the notifications that we typically do in these sorts of situations to the NTSB and the FAA, who had people on scene this afternoon just before lunch, looking at exactly what happened, looking at the debris field and things that were left out there. We also had to notify, believe it or not, the Department of Ag and Forestry, as well as DEQ, because of the pesticides that were on board. Those two agencies get involved in that to make sure that there's going to be no long-term issues with the soil or anything back there. And I don't think that there will be. It's just a matter of them kind of doing a couple of soil tests and narrowing investigation for what was on board. But again, our thoughts and prayers are with the family of the pilot. He was a long-term agricultural pilot with JBI Services based out of Abbeville, Louisiana. He's well known in the agriculture community here in Lafourche and the surrounding areas, as they did a lot of crop dusting and spraying. So we going to work with the family as they deal with their tragic loss, and also his coworkers at JBI and the rest of the aviation community. We are unfortunately no stranger to these sorts of things. Sheriff and I were talking this morning, and this unfortunately is the fourth aircraft crash that we've had over the last 5.5 years, and the fifth death. The first helicopter crash a few years ago had a pilot and a passenger, and of course we had the plane crash a couple of months ago back in April along the marshy area of Highway 90 and Highway 182 in Raceland. And then just maybe a month or so ago, we had a crash of another crop dusting fixed wing aircraft in the Valentine area that fortunately was not a fatality. The pilot was able to walk away and was able to land the aircraft somewhat safely. So, tragic event today, but we're going to let the FAA and the NTSB take over the investigation from here and do what they do. It seems kind of pretty cut and dry that he had that intersection with the power line. That's what caused the crash. But trying to determine exactly why the aircraft and the power line came in contact with each other, whether it was during a maneuver or something else, we'll let them take care of that and give us a report in a few months.
Well, it certainly is a very dangerous job. You can see them when they're doing it. They got to come, low to the ground, and then you do have all those power lines that we have available. I know I see them, doing it along 311 all the time driving. It certainly is, unfortunately, a very dangerous job.
Yeah, and look, we have a ton of agricultural, fields in this parish. Sugarcane is among the most, and the ones that we see those crop dusters flying the most. A lot of our farmers also do soybean production in the fallow fields in the years where they're not producing cane, and those guys spray that as well. So it's something that we're all too used to. The same helicopter was flying over my home spraying sugarcane a couple of weeks ago, and the kids always hear the buzzing and run outside and see it, because some of the maneuvers they do are very intricate and look very cool from the ground. But are very tricky when you're up in the air, whether it's a fixed wing aircraft doing those high-speed ramp-ups to get up around trees and power lines, or these helicopters that do these spin maneuvers to get around these same obstacles. But look, highly trained pilots. But as we noted, sometimes it's just your time. And again, we pray for the family and the co-workers of the pilot. It's going to be a hard day for those guys, and we respect that. And wish them the best in their time of grief.
Certainly, certainly. And it's amazing how many different agencies are involved, like you mentioned, and you got to contact so many different people, and hopefully they'll get to the bottom of all what occurred in this accident.
Yeah, and that's what's key about this too. All the agencies that work together, from the sheriff's office to, Lafourche Crossing 308 Volunteer Fire Department, the Thibodeau Volunteer Fire Department, Acadian Ambulance, our coroner's office, parish government, our Homeland Security staff, the company representatives, Entergy, because this intersected a power line. Those guys were heavily involved to make sure that the lines were de-energized and that we could get to the crash scene without, putting any of those first responders at risk. Sheriff's office and their detectives, of course, their police social services were out there helping the co-workers and the company guys who were out there who were dealing with the loss of their friend this morning. So it really is a coordinated effort, and it just shows what true collaboration looks like and what it does, and how all the responding agencies are truly one team here in Lafourche.
All righty. Well, thank you, Archie, for coming on and giving us an update on all on what happened.
You got it. Appreciate it, guys.
All righty. Well, stay tuned, and we also want to have our thoughts and prayers with the members of the family of the deceased victim, and also with the first responders who had to come on scene. I'm sure that is not easy to deal with as well, so we certainly are thinking of them. But we'd like you to stay tuned for more right here on HTV.
This segment was brought to you by Terrebonne General Health System. Your partner is good health.